Welcome to the Fun Astrology and Merriman Market Analyst Weekly Financial Podcast. Thomas Miller here on Saturday, December 2nd. We're reading the MMACycles.com free weekly forecast dated December 4th, 2023. This report is written by the incomparable Ray Merriman and is published every Friday night on the website MMACycles.com. Always begins with a couple of news quotes. This from the Wall Street Journal, yesterday, Friday, December 1st. The weeks-long rally in stocks and government bonds has shown no signs of slowing down. The Dow rose for the fifth consecutive week, its longest winning streak since 2021. The S&P 500 jumped to its highest closing level since March 2022 after setting a new yearly high on Thursday. Also from yesterday in the Wall Street Journal, mortgage rates have fallen more than half a percentage point over the past month, the largest four-week decline since late 2022. Home prices, meanwhile, have continued to rise to record levels. Ray's commentary about this week's market begins with, the red-hot U.S. stock market continues to be, well, red-hot since the 50-week cycle low on October 27th. With Mars, the red planet associated with heat and hot, and the Sun, which is really hot, both in the fire sign of Sagittarius, there has been nothing to hold back this surge to new yearly highs, and possibly even to new all-time highs soon. Mercury has also been in Sagittarius, but the planet of commerce and thinking moves into Capricorn now, the sign of the skeptic, and cold, hard truth. There might be some critical thinking this weekend, reassessing the latest bull run and how long it might last. Not all U.S. markets made new yearly highs last week. Despite the S&P 500 cash making a new closing high, the S&P futures and cash remained below their yearly intraday peak from July 27th, when Venus was turning retrograde. That was followed by the steepest decline of the year over the ensuing 3 months. Strong rallies to new multi-month highs were also posted in the German DAX and Netherlands AEX indices. In Asia and elsewhere, the Indian Nifty Index made a new all-time high, and the Bovespa in Brazil is close. But China and Hong Kong went in the opposite direction, with the Hang Seng falling to a new yearly low. Not that long ago, everyone was touting growth opportunities in the Far East, but it's back to the USA now. Stock markets weren't the only financials on fire. Gold surged to a new all-time high on its highest volume contract, the February contract, soaring to $20.9570 on Friday. The December contract fell a little short with a high of $20.7350. Silver rallied to $25.94, its highest level since May. Bitcoin tested 39,000, a mark not seen since May of 2022. Crude oil, however, continued to lag near the lows of a congestion zone between $72 and $79. Now, the short-term geocosmics and longer-term thoughts. First quote from the Wall Street Journal back on November 28, 2023. As Larry Arnn, president of Hillsdale, points out, what America really needs from Harvard is clear thinking. If colleges abandon their final cause, which is truth, their formal cause, which is civil discourse, soon breaks down into bullying, canceling, and extortion. That disaster has struck colleges deeply, and now it spreads into the society. We become unable to distinguish the murderers from the defenders of children." End quote. And then this from The Economist on November 30th. By 2025, the strain of running a war may start to catch up with Mr. Putin. Russians may increasingly resent the forced mobilizations, inflation, and diversion of social spending to the army. Yet, simply hoping that his regime collapses makes no sense. He could remain in power for years, and if he does, he will threaten war because that is his excuse for domestic repression and his own people's suffering. He has blighted his country's prospects by isolating it from Europe and driving its most enterprising people into exile. Without war, the hollowness of his rule would be on full display." End quote. Then this from the Wall Street Journal on November 27th. The German tabloid Bild said the quiet part out loud. President Biden and German Chancellor Olaf Scholz plan to force Ukraine into peace talks next year by denying it the weapons they need to win. This creates a dilemma for those who know that Ukraine's fate matters deeply to the U.S., but who can also see that Team Biden is more interested in avoiding confrontation with Russia than in defeating it. To oppose aid to Ukraine is to ensure a Russian victory, but funding Mr. Biden's approach will do little to prevent one and will further erode public support for America's global engagement." End quote. Now, Ray says that last week's comments on markets bear repeating, quoting from last week's newsletter. The sun is now in the optimistic, and sometimes overly optimistic, sign of Sagittarius as of November 22nd. As expected, equity prices moved higher. Mercury and Mars are also in Sagittarius, supporting the bullish influence of global and U.S. equity markets. But that will begin to shift when Mercury ingresses into the more skeptical sign of Capricorn, December 1st through 23rd. Along the way, Mercury will turn retrograde on December 13th, lasting through January 1st, which indicates end-of-the-year trading may be tricky. End quote. So far, so good, Ray says. There are other geocosmic signatures arising this week that may lead to a correction of the trend, but not a reversal of the primary trend. On Sunday, December 3rd, Venus, money and credit, will square Pluto, debt, one day before Venus, credit and money, enters Scorpio, ruled by Pluto and thus the sign of debt. This could also signal a reversal in markets ruled by Venus and Pluto, such as soybeans, treasuries, and currencies. On a personal level, Venus rules love, partnerships, and relationships. In a square aspect to Pluto, moving into Scorpio, uncomfortable situations may arise where one party may try to exit from a deal and not be forthright with the other over the matter. It may be the end of the party if hidden agendas are revealed. Then there's the issue of Neptune turning retrograde on December 6th this coming week. Now the secret and hidden agendas are out, but then comes another cover-up. This week is a challenge for honesty and truth. In terms of market psychology, it may be one of those buy the rumor, sell the facts, or vice versa, issues driving prices. Be careful of rumors or deceptive behavior and get the facts and truth. In terms of market behavior, watch crude oil for reversals. This atmosphere of uncertainty or wishful thinking may persist into December 21st. In fact, market prices may act confused and uncertain, as the Sun will also square Neptune on December 17th, right after Mercury turns retrograde on December 13th. The trickster could be in all its glory with Neptune so prominent, too. When Mercury and Neptune are highlighted close together, fact-checkers will be called upon to work overtime. Truth and accuracy are at a premium and hard to find. It may be fine for fun and jollity as the holiday approaches, but promises or agreements made during this period are not to be taken too seriously. Choose fun and jollity and avoid situations that may compromise your integrity. And that concludes this week's newsletter. If I could let you know of a couple of things going on around here, there is an announcement now in the beginning of the Fun Astrology podcasts that we have a new website that we've launched. It's called High Timeline Publishing. The idea is to give you concise, organized, and non-cluttered access to resources, books, and courses and other things that can help you live your highest timeline journey. Launched it this morning on Saturday, December 2nd with a special Subconscious Mind Mastery podcast episode number 369, explaining how this all came about. It was on the solar eclipse day, so you might catch that just for the astrology. It's quite a story. And actually, coming right behind this will be the 2024 forecast book audio version for Ray and the team at Merriman and Associates. The information on buying that will be available on High Timeline Publishing, so you'll be able to go straight from there over to Merriman, or you can go to directly MMAcycles.com, but we'll point it out for you and highlight it on HighTimelinePublishing.com. It's also HighTimelineBooks.com, get you to the same place. And we are so excited. I'm just thrilled to have this resource And I think it's going to be a wonderful tool that you can just go to one place and find everything you want. Like, what's my next book? Well, here it will be. We'll point them out and show you what you can read to encourage your soul on this journey. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. See you tomorrow night on Level Up on our YouTube channel and Facebook group, and then back on Fun Astrology on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend.